What's up guys, Amer the Hammer, Shane. 5 weeks out from the Toronto Pro Show. We're going to show you a little preview of what we're doing behind the scenes, of our workouts, and we do this a few times a week. Give you guys an inside look of what we're doing. We're hitting chest today, so let's get it. So a lot of what we're doing today, higher rep stuff. Trying to really keep the muscles full. Obviously, the closer you get to a show, you want to keep the muscles full, round, as you're starting to deplete down. So his carbs are getting a bit lower, and we want to make sure that the muscle is full, the chest is full, weaker body parts, that we ensure that they stay hard and full as he's getting cut. So one of the biggest mistakes most people make when they're dieting is that they over deplete while they're cutting and they lose the fullness, which, you know, fullness creates shape. So if you don't have fullness, you don't have shape, and then your body just looks like shit. So it's a balancing point. It's finding that balancing point where the physique looks best. So one thing you'll see as you start to get depleted or fatigued through the workout, you want to ensure that, you know, if you're training with a partner, that you start to incorporate eccentric phases of the movement. So get your buddy to lift it up, eccentrically load the muscle, bring it down slowly so that you can overload the muscle, something you otherwise couldn't do on your own, so you can maximize the workout, get more out of the movement. Because as we know, to grow a muscle, to improve the size, the fullness, the strength of a muscle, you must progressively overload it, give it more than it's ever done before. And by doing this, you're gonna give it more than it's ever done before, which is typically hard to do on your own or by yourself. Typically right now we're doing each body part is trained twice a week. We're doing a heavier day and a lighter day, more reps on the lighter day, focusing more on form, focusing more on contractions. So contracting the muscle from full to end range of the movement. And this is one of those days, so we're gonna drop the weight. We're gonna do as many reps as possible, complete exhaustion, complete failure, complete overload in this session. To the intensity of training, there's very minimal rest in what we're doing on this day, on this type of workout. Very minimal rest, very minimal talking back to back. My rest is his work ratio, his work is my rest ratio, and so on and so forth. So, you know, we're not just kind of going at any pace. We have a specific pace. He goes, I goes, he goes, I goes the whole way through. Guess what? In half an hour, 45 minutes, the muscle will be taxed. If you're in the gym for an hour and a half doing one body part, chances are you're training like a pussy. So, you know, some people may think it's narcissistic or egotistical in terms of doing this, but we do it for a multitude of reasons, an array of reasons. One being developing isometric contractions, learning how to contract the muscle. In this case, that's not what we're doing. So sometimes when you're doing, you know, a specific body part, biceps, maybe you want to stand in the mirror, contract the muscle, you're going to get a lot more out of the muscle, and it's proven. So isometric contractions do work. In this case, with his specific body type, he tends to flatten out very quickly. So if we do too much, he's going to flatten out very rapidly, and sometimes you can overdo it. You know, there's, like I said, there's a balancing point. There's a fine line in which you want to find when you're training. So we want to see where he looks best and how many sets, how long it takes for him to look best, how depleted he is, and then we can get an accurate gauge on where he looks at all times. That way when we do fill him out, when we do refeeds, when we do specific training, when we decrease frequency or increase load or volume, we understand where he is and what he needs. So now what we've been doing this prep has been training a lot less frequent, a lot less volume, a bit more frequency, a lot more carbs, a lot less cardio, to find that balancing point. So it's just a patience game. You don't want to deplete too quick, but you want to deplete enough that you still keep that fullness, which with a physique like this, that's very important. So hit the poses. You can see the round muscle bellies, right? You see the roundness through here, you see the roundness, and that's what creates that aesthetic shape, that classical look that we really want in a physique. So, you know, having a good eye, you know, when people hire a coach, you're not hiring a coach necessarily for, you know, because they know how to diet. My grandma knows how to diet, you know, everyone's mom knows how to diet, eat less food, do more cardio. You're paying, or you're getting a coach that has an eye for detail, has an eye for where you should be, the experience. You know, people, I say, don't pay me for my successes as a coach. They pay me for my failures, all the time that, you know, I've made mistakes with clients, all the times that I've lost shows, things like that. That's what you're paying for, so that you don't need to make those mistakes and that we don't need to replicate these mistakes once again. Go again. Relax the hands, drop the hands. Turn. Open. So we have a very specific structure in terms of how we train, in terms of exercise selection and exercise order. So we typically start with free weight movements where you're utilizing a lot more stabilizer muscles, a lot more of your nervous system that's incorporated into the movement. Then as the muscles fatigue, as your stabilizers fatigue, we move on to more functional machine movements such as cables. Like I said, a machine, we're not depending on anything except the prime mover. We overload the muscle, give it as much as we possibly can give it, fry it, and that's it. You know, there's no danger involved. You gotta understand risk to reward ratio. There's a lot less danger because you're in a safety rack. But you can really overload that muscle, just kill it, and without depending on those smaller muscles that inhibit you, right? And this, you'll see, once you get to this, even a plate is hard. 135 pounds is very difficult and very challenging, right? But it's not about the weight, right? It's about how you look, and the judges don't give a shit about how much you weigh. They don't give a shit about how much weight you lift. They don't care about anything about how you look on that day, and you judge based on that and nothing else. So, you know, train for your sport, train for what your purpose and what you're trying to accomplish. And for most of you guys that are competing, you know, a lot of people, especially if it's your first show or even if it's your 10th show, it doesn't matter. Take the posing serious, you know, spend a lot of time posing. If you spend more time posing, you're gonna understand that kinesthetic awareness, where your body is in space at all times, knowing how to move it, you know, and that's, you look comfortable on stage, you look confident, you're gonna win. It's like going and picking up a girl. It doesn't matter how good looking you are, it doesn't matter how good your car is, how much money you have. If you're insecure, you're insecure. No one's gonna, you know, give you opportunities. That girl's not gonna wanna talk to you, you know, you're not gonna get the job you want. When you're confident, people will be captivated by you. People will look at you. Attention's gonna be drawn to you. And if you're not, then no one's gonna wanna look at you. It doesn't matter. You know, I've seen people look so good and they don't get attention. They don't even win shows. They don't get, you know, they don't even get in a first call out in the top 5 because they don't look like they wanna be there. They look insecure. They don't possess confidence. They don't exude that confidence. And when you do, you know, that comes from preparation. Confidence comes from preparation. The better you prepare for something, the more confident you'll become in doing it. And you know, when you've never been posing before and you expect that you're just gonna show up and be confident on the day, forget about it. You know, the more you do something, it becomes familiar. You neurologically ingrain that pattern and you understand it better. You know, there's visualization studies that show that you don't even need to actually do the act of doing something in order to understand it, in order to get better at it. You know, they did a study with basketball players, and with basketball players, they found that they improved their shot just by thinking about improving their shot without actually physically practicing, because the mind does not understand the difference between real and fake. The mind doesn't understand the difference between a fake event and a real event. It only understands the information that you give it, and your body responds based on that information you give it. So the more you practice something, the more you visualize and think about doing doing it, the better you'll become at doing it. So, you know, think about doing something, the more you do it and actually practice it, and you'll actually become very good at it. And that's why our guys do exceptionally well. That's why our girls do exceptionally well, because we focus on the mental aspect and the mental and the subconscious component of success. And you know, we practice posing every day. He practices multiple times a day to get better at it. And you can never be too good at something, you know? You know, that's just a little tip for you guys to take home. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like it, subscribe it, and we're gonna put out more content. Tell us what you guys wanna see below. Check out on Instagram, Shane MKN, and Amer the Hammer, Hammer Fitness, the Mind Builder. Check out all our pages. We're gonna be dropping videos all the time.
We're out.